This full moon in Sagittarius is startling and could come with some shocking news. It's not bad or challenging in particular. In fact, it's pretty entertaining, so I would not be too worried or concerned. If you're excited to dive into what this full moon in Sagittarius has to say about you and your sign, make sure that you like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a hit. I don't know how I was about to say that. So that you're always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. Anyway, if you're new here, hi, I am Maren. I am a tropical Western astrologer, and I make monthly rising sign videos for all signs in case you were wanting to see how this is showing up in your life and how this is catering specifically for you. But at the end of this video, I will get into describing for each of the rising signs how it is showing up for you, so not to worry. I also offer exclusive courses and private readings down below if you would like more from me. So this full moon in Sagittarius is on June 3rd, 2023 at 8:40 p.m. Pacific time. So it's on the night of the 3rd, no matter if you are Eastern or Pacific. And the sun will be at 13 degrees of Gemini with the moon at 13 degrees of Sagittarius. And whenever I see a full moon in a mutable sign, it is always scattered and quite disruptive in terms of plans, because the mutable signs, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo, they tend to be very adaptable and movable, which means that full moons tend to be like this address, then this address. Like I'm imagining just in high school when I was really tracking like the way that new moons and full moons showed up in my life, the way that if it was a full moon and a mutable sign, the amount of times my friends and I would like switch and change locations because it was so scattered. That definitely is a hallmark. Now, I don't view it as particularly challenging, especially because the sun and the moon are not really in signs that they have trouble in. They're not in signs that there's anything to worry about in. And the sun will be in the second decan of Gemini, also known as the Lord of Mental Cruelty or the Nine of Swords tarot card. And it can represent aggressive thoughts or preparing for the worst when we don't exactly need to. So know that your mind might be in a place where it's more troubled than it needs to be around these matters. This can show sleepless nights. In fact, the figure on this card shows literally a sleepless night, so I would not be surprised if things are coming up which require you to stay up late around this time. But the moon in particular is in the second decan of Sagittarius, associated with the Nine of Wands tarot card, which is actually ruled by the moon. So even though Jupiter rules Sagittarius, this second middle decan is ruled by the moon, which shows a little bit more comfort or belonging here. And this is actually associated with sticking to your guns or not changing things up. So it's kind of like you're preparing for the worst, you think things are going to go poorly, but you're going to stay on track and you're not going to fuck shit up, and things are not going to get fucked up here, even if it's an entertaining kind of saga where you think that they might be. So full moons are times of release. They're usually very entertaining and particularly dramatic. I definitely have cat here in my lipstick right now. And it's not really a challenging full moon, as I said. It's much more of a scattered, entertaining, all over the place full moon. And full moons in fire signs always tend to be quite a bit zesty, I would say, because fire signs bring out that a little bit more, fiery, dramatic aspect of our existence. I put in my notes, it's a jump scare kind of full moon, so we'll just let that be. The reason for the startling news around this time is that Mercury will be conjunct Uranus. And Mercury is the planet of communication, of saying things from one person to another, and for spreading ideas. And Uranus is the most disruptive, most volatile planet and has a hallmark of being quite disruptive. So shocking communication is very likely. And there's a sign-based square for Mercury and Uranus to Mars, which overall highlights and emphasizes this level of things being disruptive on a verbal level. However, Mercury and Uranus will sextile Neptune and Venus, which is really nice. And overall, the Venus-Neptune trine shows believing in the higher fluidity or higher purposeness of this event that's happening. Just be ready for a change of location, either energetically or literally physically throughout this day. Nothing that I would be too worried about, but yeah, if you're running around nonstop, feeling like things are scattered but entertaining at the same time, that is the Sagittarius full moon. And technically the sun and the moon are in a sign-based square to Saturn and Neptune during this full moon. However, I would not be too concerned because they're not close by degree. So there might be some feelings of blockage or confusion, but nothing to where I would be really concerned. And luckily, this full moon will be trine Mars and Leo, which shows that we're dedicated towards being active or taking part in the events of tonight. There's not a level of being passive at all with this. Jupiter is still conjunct the North Node, which shows that there's a huge amount of blessings and abundance in general coming our way during this time, given that Jupiter is abundance and the North Node accelerates things. And interestingly enough, the theme of a lot of the things coming out for this night could be around women acting quite a bit crazier and intense, because Venus will be conjunct Lilith in Cancer, and Lilith is often an untamed, kind of wild, feral, feminine energy. Whenever there's a planet conjunct Lilith, women acting particularly like, whoa, 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 all right, like you have a lot to say or quite energy to put out into the world. It doesn't mean you're unfounded in that wild behavior, but it definitely shows women acting, yeah, larger than life. But this full moon in general is a time of entertaining, energetic release. Nothing I would be particularly concerned for or worried about, to say the least. If anything, it looks like a nice time to go hang out with your friends, do something explorative or adventurous, given that Sagittarius generally doesn't say no to things. And worst case, you're driving around all night because there's something annoying or dramatic or whatever, but not dramatic in an emotional way, just entertaining. If you have any thoughts or anything that you would like to predict around this full moon in your own life, feel free to drop that down below. I am definitely interested in hearing from those of you who already know where it's showing up in your chart. But if you're interested in hearing about where it's showing up in your chart, I'm now going to run through each of the rising signs. Yes, you need to know your rising sign if you want an explanation on why rising signs are necessary for charts. I have full videos on how to read your horoscope. It always has to be based on rising sign because that sets up the areas of life. But we will start out with Aries rising. So Aries risings, this will be in your 9th house of foreign travel or higher education. You could be ending a field of study or ending something that you have been traveling like towards or traveling for a while. It could be ending. If you're a Taurus rising, this will be in your 8th house of shared finances or investment. So you're likely paying off or ending something financial in your life. If you were a Gemini rising, this is in your 7th house of one-on-one close relationships. So it could be a breakup. It could also be something like a legal partnership is ending. It doesn't look particularly challenging though, so I would say that it looks more entertaining or exciting rather than something dramatic and negative in that way. If you were a Cancer rising, this will be in your 6th house of physical health, coworkers, and pets. So you may be expecting an ending around a chapter of employment with your coworkers, a team is rearranging. Could also be that you're no longer going to have a certain health regimen or treatment plan, or something with your pets is ending. It doesn't look like a death, but like, yeah. If you were a Leo rising, this will be in your 5th house of dating, romance, and creativity. So it could be that you have a kind of quite a night with someone that you're dating. Could be that there's something creative you're releasing into the world. Could also be that you're having something important with your kids, because the 5th house can be kids. If you are a Virgo rising, this will be in your 4th house of home or family. So it could be that you're finishing renovations, or that something with your family is happening and that's exciting that night. If you're a Libra rising, it will be in your 3rd house of day-to-day productivity or writing or content. So if you are working on any content, if you're writing anything, you might be releasing it or ending a certain routine of commuting in your life. If you're a Scorpio rising, it will be in your 2nd house of finance and income. So you could be ending an income stream or finishing up a certain way of making money. If you are a Sagittarius rising, it will be in your 1st house of self, which shows that all the spotlight's on you. It's going to be a night where you are the entertainment, you are the one who has stuff going on, and you're going to be the voice of whatever's happening. If you were a Capricorn rising, it will be in your 12th house of mental health, isolation, and spirituality. So you might be having a mental health breakthrough around this time. This is so, oh my God. This is just so funny because this is when I'm going to be, June 3rd is going to be when I'm on an ayahuasca trip. That is so funny that that's going to be occurring for me in my 12th house as a Capricorn rising during that time. Okay, so that's a good, I guess, makes sense. If you were in Aquarius rising, it's going to be in your 11th house of networking, friends, or groups. So you might be no longer working with or tied into a certain group of people. And if you were a Pisces rising, it will be in your 10th house of careers. So the chapter of career or employment could be closing, or you could be unveiling a project that you've been working on. The law of attraction card that we have for this full moon is, I can create my world as I choose. You are here to create the world around you that you choose. What you allow the world as others choose it to be exist also. But while their choices in no way hinder your choices, your attention to their choices does affect your vibration and therefore your point of attraction. So make sure that you're not paying attention to the vibration of other people, basically, if you know that that's not what you want to bring in. So if you enjoyed this, make sure that you like, subscribe, share, send it to all your friends who also might be thinking about what to expect for this full moon. Let me know down below any comments or thoughts that you have around this. Yeah, so let me know and enjoy.
Oh, but there is one.